Adam, it's David. You in the building?
Just entered the lobby.
Sorry to pull you out of sick leave so soon, but we've got a situation. A break-in at our Milwaukee Junction factory. Meet me at the helipad.
I have to see Pritchard first. Something's wrong with my retinal enhancement.
Frank's on the second floor in the tech lab. Make it quick. People's lives are at stake.
About time. What happened? You get stuck in an air duct on the way over?
Yeah, nice to see you too, Francis. Something's wrong with my retinal display. Can you fix it?
If it's what I think it is, probably. Of course, it might seem. Looks like your left and right imaging processors weren't completely in sync. But don't worry, your Sentinel health implant will kick in soon, repairing any damage that might have caused. Your retinal display should be fine now. Its recognition software won't be picking up hostiles yet, but you should be seeing radar and targeting reticules. Biomedical data too, if you're in pain.
Right. We done here? Because Sarif is waiting for me at the helipad.
I know. Radicals have broken into our manufacturing plant and taken hostages. Maybe this time you'll actually save people.
If you got a problem with me, Pritchard, why don't you just say it and get it over with?
Why no, Jensen? I don't have a problem with you. If anything, I blame myself.
The mighty Pritchard blaming himself. That's gotta be a first.
I'm the one who told Sarif we needed a physical security team to protect us. If he'd read my report closely enough.
Wait a second. Are you saying it was your idea to hire me?
Not you, Jensen. I wanted Dynacore, Sharp Edge, or Bell Tower. All the top private security contractors were on my list, but Sarif wanted somebody in-house. And so did Dr. Reed.
I suggest you leave Megan out of this.
Why, Jensen? It's no secret how close the two of you were. And let's face it, you'd just been fired from SWAT for that massacre in Mexican town. No one was about to hire you.
You really have to stop getting your news from those Picus blogs, Francis. They only confuse you.
The point is, if Sarif had listened to me, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But Megan, God love her, always did have Sarif's ear.
Sarif's ear is going to be hearing a report about violence in the workplace if you keep this up. You really feel like continuing?
Point taken.
Adam, how close are you to the helipad?
Almost there.
Good. Because SWAT's about to turn this into a PR nightmare. Meet me in the chopper. I'll brief you as we go.
Welcome back, Jensen. Didn't think we'd see you around here for a while yet.
You know how it goes, Malik. Duty calls.
Don't I know it? I was in my wingsuit halfway to the top of the Renaissance Center when I got the 911. But you? 6 months is a hell of a short time to come back from the dead. You sure you're ready for this?
Only one way to find out.
Roger that. The boss is already on board, arguing with the DPD's tactical response team. They've got the plant surrounded, but Mr. Sarif wants you to go in first. Are you all set here? Because the sooner we take off, the better it will be for everyone.
I'm ready.
Great. Then let's get airborne.
I told Farida to put us down on a roof. I don't want the crowd seeing you go in.
Fine. As long as she pulls you out the minute I'm gone. So what am I looking at here? Who are these guys?
Pro-human purists, or so they say. The same purists who've been firebombing limb clinics all over the country.
You buy that?
Nah, I don't think it's a coincidence they hit us today, only hours after we moved the Typhoon in for assembly line factory.
The Typhoon? Megan's team was testing it the day that bastard... Who's on point for these guys?
Adam, I know you and Megan were once...
Who is on point for these guys?
Goes by the name of Sanders. That's him, there. He's an augmented, Adam. So he can't be one of the mercs who attacked us, but he did know exactly how to get inside our plant.
All right. So how do you want me to handle this?
First priority is the Typhoon. I'm keeping SWAT out until you've secured it. As far as rules of engagement go, I'll defer to you. Lethal or non-lethal?
I'm not looking to start a firefight in there, just neutralize them.
Okay, but just make sure those bastards don't wake up and warn their friends. You remember what it's like in there? A lot of tight enclosed hallways, but the labs themselves are pretty open, high ceilings. So, do you want something you can use from a distance, or up close?
Give me something with distance. If I get too close, I'll take them out personally.
Just try not to break anything expensive. The Typhoon should be in the factoring labs, but Pritchard will tell you more as you go in. I've got him running comms.
Terrific. Anything else?
Keep your eyes open for hostages. Free them if you can, but the Typhoon is your #1 priority. We developed it for the Alphabet agencies, and if we don't deliver it to them intact and still a secret, well, I'm sure you'll get the job done right.
Alright, explosive mission pack. Technically, I do have it. I did pre-order, so I do get some extra stuff. I might use a couple of the automatic unlocking devices, but the grenade launcher is probably going to stay out of my inventory, and I'm not going to be using the remote detonated explosives either. Anyway, back to cutscenes.
Prepare for landing.
Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Deus Ex Human Revolution, the sequel to the, I don't know, what would you call it, sleeper hit? Cult classic? I don't know. Deus Ex for the PC, which was quite an amazing game for its time, really free roaming, just lots of fun to be had with it. And of course Deus Ex Human Revolution is much the same, just not quite to the same extent as the first. As always, I'm PA, and I'll be playing through this game for you. First things first, we're going to go ahead and get everything all organized in our inventory here. Gonna get my Cyber Boost Pro energy bars and my tranquilizer rifle. And as you may have seen in the intro, well, you will have seen in the oh, we're about to have dialogue, so I'm gonna be quiet.
Jensen, it's me, Pritchard. Where are you?
On a roof overlooking the plant.
Good. Your point of entry should be through shipping and receiving.
Should be, Francis. What the hell does that mean?
We have an employee entrance there, heavily guarded by purists, no doubt. So, if you're not a fan of the frontal assault, I suppose you could try accessing the building's roof.
Alright, as I was saying, as you saw from the intro, I'm going to be doing a non-lethal, mostly stealth run. And this is honestly one of my favorite ways to play Deus Ex. The possibility for stealth is one that's ignored in a lot of games nowadays, so it's always nice to see it in a game like this one, a big mainstream title. Also, as you saw, I picked the tranquilizer rifle for my weapon over the stun gun. I didn't do this on my first playthrough, figuring that the stun gun might be good for melee takedowns and things of that sort. But it turns out that the way it's coded, the stun gun is actually as loud as a gunshot to enemies in range, so you're probably not going to be doing too much stealthy with the stun gun. If you want to go non-lethal, it's still one of your best bets, but I prefer the tranquilizer rifle. Silent and brings down an enemy in pretty much no time at all if you're getting headshots, otherwise it'll just bring him down in a second or two. Anyway, this is the way we're going to be making our entrance up on the top here. If you want, you can try to make your way through that little field there, whether through gunfighting or stealth or whatever you prefer. But this is by and large one of the easiest ways to get into the factory.
Pritchard, I'm in.
Nicely done, Jensen. May I ask how?
A vent on the roof. It'll be in my report next time we discuss security loopholes.
Oh, goody. I'll be sure to take notes. The Typhoon is in the factoring labs. There's an elevator just past the assembly labs that will take you to it.
Got it.
Alright, so the first real area of the game, and if I'm not talking much about actual strategy for getting through this area, it's because there really isn't much. You've got a pretty basic area with a bunch of different paths to it, admittedly, but not really anything you can use. Well, at least not with the path that I'm planning to take. So, we are going to be sneaking around to the bottom floor there. We already knocked out one guard, and I suppose I should take a brief moment to explain the mechanics, or the basic mechanics I'm going to be taking advantage of. The cover system is extremely lenient in Human Revolution, so long as you're behind cover and not peeking out. If an enemy is in front of you, they won't see you. This will make more sense as we go on, but basically cover is a bit stronger than it should be. Also, if you look to the top left, you'll see that there are two batteries there. One is depleted, one is not. The batteries are the energy system in Deus Ex Human Revolution. Knocking out an enemy, such as the first guy I knocked out, or this guy here, takes just a little bit of energy, one battery's worth. You'll always recharge the one battery that you have at the very end there, but anything else, if used, will take a Cyber Boost Pro energy bar to recharge. So it's usually good to remain at one bar and then just kind of let things play out from there. The reason I walk up to this door is to trigger a conversation in the hallway down there, which lets me get through this area a little bit faster. And this is actually fairly important to do, in my opinion, just because, as you can see, they've got two guys trying to build up a turret again for their fight with the police. And naturally, we really don't like people who are attempting to act as terrorists, so we're just going to go ahead and knock them out. This has the advantage of also making sure that turret isn't ready for a fight later. It'll make more sense when we see it. Again, a lot of this is in preparation. You probably won't catch this sort of stuff on your first playthrough, just because it is not spelled out in the slightest. You've got to kind of infer it from what's going on around you, but yeah. Alright, I'm going to wait for my energy to recharge here really quickly, and I'll knock out this guy as well. And as you may notice, this guy is doing absolutely nothing. There's seemingly no benefit to knocking him out because he couldn't possibly bother me. But every single enemy you knock out and don't kill with a melee attack gives you 50 experience, which is actually quite useful. I'm going to knock out this guy with a tranquilizer dart here real quick. Tranquilizer dart takes a little bit to go in. If I got a headshot, it would also give 10 more experience for the marksman bonus. So if you're going for maximum experience, getting headshots is to your benefit. I'm going to wait for this guy to turn around. Come on, buddy. There you go. And once I knock him out, that'll be pretty much all the enemies on this floor. And there is actually some stuff that we're going to want to get here in a moment. Mostly in that locker room where I shot the one guard. But there we go. Alright. And if I'm not mistaken, what I want is in this set of lockers? No, shoot. Sorry, I really do try to remember where these things are, but there are just so many goddamn lockers. There they are, tranquilizer darts. We want those. Yeah, there's also some other ammunition for other types of weapons in the other lockers, so if you're trying to get a lot of stuff, you can do that. Also, this is another way in if you've taken the vents that get you to here. So, we're through most of the area here.
Jensen, I just tried to unlock the assembly lab door, but my override codes aren't
Metal
working.
detector.
Someone's
Probably want to
changed
stay
the
away from that,
protocols.
given that we're a machine.
Didn't you plug the...
I'm on it. But until I find this particular breach and fix it, you'll have to hack the door manually. Pritchard out.
Alright, so introduction to hacking with probably one of the easiest hacks in... No, the easiest hack in the game, by far. Okay, so an explanation of hacking really briefly. You can take over nodes or fortify nodes you control. There are also viruses you can use later to help you out with hacking, which have various beneficial effects. There's a chance to be detected whenever you capture a particular node. You can make this go down through upgrades, and your goal is to either capture all of the green things or all of the red things. Generally, the game intends for you to capture the green things, but the red ones are also an option. You get a little bit of experience for everything you hack, so I'll be trying to hack as many things as I can. Ooh, cyber boost pro nuclear bar. And hacking is actually a pretty fun minigame compared to, I guess, the almost non-existent hacking of the first. Anyway, we're going to want to sneak around the right side here. Meanwhile, some guard dialogue.
Once that bomb goes off, this guy won't be the last skinner in here who buys it. Shut up, Trevor. You gotta calm down. Help me find someone to cover him up. I'm telling you, man.
Alright, so, naturally, a fairly anti-augmentation group, a purity of the human body sort of thing, has taken over our factory. And they're going to be talking about this pretty much non-stop, because when you're trying to commit a terrorist act, what you want to do is naturally continue talking about the terrorist act. Now, let's see here. This is actually important and is a fairly easy way to get through this area. If you go to that vent down there, you'll get access to the rafters of the building here, and these rafters are extremely important because, as you might have remembered, we originally heard about hostages when we were back at Seraph Industries. Now, if you take too long at Seraph Industries, the hostages will be dead regardless of what you do when you get here. It's a bit of an interesting note, and they don't ever notify you in anything but in-game that if you take too long, this is going to hurt these guys. Oh, shut up, for the love of God. Alright, so you have a couple of options here. You can hack this, you can enter a security code which you get off of one of the guards, or you can actually shoot the control panel, I think. But I always just hack it, because the hacks are fairly easy.
Where's the bomb squad?
For the love of God, shut up! Alright, so still no detection, which is nice. Alright, this is what happens when you get detected. A little red line starts going out from wherever... Oh my God. If it weren't required to save these hostages... Anyway, that's fortifying. Fortifying will increase the protection of the node, that is the security rating of the node, by a little bit. When a hack is going, the higher security rating of the nodes, the longer it takes for these to go through, and once that reaches your main node and takes it over, you're done. So you just want to capture the green node before that sort of thing happens.
Access granted. Automated dispersal device deactivated. Countdown terminated.
Alright. So naturally, these are...
Get word to Seraph. I found the hostages.
I'm relaying good news, I hope.
They're safe. And they're staying put. SWAT will have to exfil them as soon as I've got the prototype.
I'll tell Sarif, but don't take too long.
So the hostages are safe, and that gets us an extra 400 experience. Every 5,000 experience gets you an upgrade point, so every little bit helps, especially if you're trying to get a bunch of upgrades by the end of the game. The game itself says that it's impossible to get all of the upgrades in one playthrough, but I think that if you were to knock out every guard with a melee attack, get every single upgrade that you could, and do pretty much everything, you would actually be able to get every single upgrade. Anyway, what we're going to do here is we're going to try to knock out these guards without being seen. But I can't always pull this off, so it's going to be a little bit iffy. First things first, we're going to knock out that guard over there. Then the one on the far end. And then last but not least, the guy who's walking back and forth. The guy who's looking at some items in that box over there never turns around, even if he hears his allies falling to the ground unconscious behind him. So you can just always knock him out with a melee attack. That said, I'm not going to do so, because I'm going to save my melee attack for the guy in the room off to the side. And if it seems like I know a lot about this game, my apologies, that my knowledge will not stay as consistent throughout the rest of the game, because one of the things about the Deus Ex games that is definitely true about the first and kind of true about this sequel is that you will become intimately familiar with the first couple of missions. In the first Deus Ex game, you'd say, wow, I really want to reinstall and play Deus Ex, and then you'd start doing so, and then you'd kind of realize that the controls are a little bit clunky, even if the game is great, and you might kind of drop off playing, but not before you get through the first mission, so you will know Liberty Island like the back of your hand. And that's sort of true for the Seraph Industries plant as well. You're going to get to know this place quite well. Anyway, we're going to knock out this guy and take what's in the container here. I think it's, yeah, concussion grenade. We're probably not going to use it, but we can sell it, and cash is extremely helpful in this game, as in most games, so no real downside to it. Now we have two options. We could either go through, I think I'm going to go through the front entrance here. There's going to be a guard walking along, and regrettably, oh god, he's at the other end of the hallway. You know what, screw this, I'm going around the other way. Sometimes you can wait until that guard walks up to you, wait until the camera is pointed the other way, and then just kind of knock him out, ignore the camera, and move on. Hey there, buddy, how's it going? Here we go. Alright, so that guy's moved past, and now the camera on this floor is pointed straight toward us, naturally. We're going to wait for that to look the other way. And then we're actually just going to go straight underneath the camera. Luckily, they have these little lights indicating where they're looking. I'm assuming that we can see those simply because we're augmented. Otherwise, that's kind of the shittiest security system ever. Anyway, we're going to move on. Now... oh, another hack. Fair enough, easy enough. Most of the stuff in this first mission is fairly simple, not particularly notable. Now, be sure to look at a hacking grid before you actually start hacking, so you can actually see what you need to do. Most people might go for the one that they can immediately access, go here, and then realize that they can't actually access the green node from there because of the one-way connection. But if you just take a look at it beforehand, you'll kind of be able to map out a game plan, if you will, of your hacking. Because you never really want to just start hacking things indiscriminately, especially if your security or stealth rating isn't that high, because then you're pretty much guaranteeing that you're going to be able to see something. Luckily, these guys cannot hear large boxes being thrown around, which is to our benefit. Now, I'm going to sneak through here, get my rifle out, because it would be a pain in the ass to sneak up on that guy and then just shoot him in the ass. There we go. One unconscious guard, and we get some more gear. Stun gun darts, frag grenade, more stuff we can sell. Pocket secretary, what is this? Grayson's got a new shipment in. Okay, so that's just telling us about one of the weapons vendors in the game. A black market dealer who hangs out at a gas station in Boston. Now, let's see here. I want to try to sneak up to the second floor without being spotted. But that's going to mean I'm going to need to wait till all these guys turn around. Bit of a pain. Come on. Look the other way. Screw it. I'm going anyway. Oh my god, none of them saw me. Okay, so that's actually really helpful. Now, we have 3 guards and we have more than 3 bullets, but the question is, how do we knock them out in such an order that they will not notice that the other ones are unconscious? Well, what we're going to start with, I think, is going to be the guy on the... oh, come on, why are they all still looking at me? Stop that. We're going to start with the guy on the left, because he's just looking at me and I don't like him. Okay, so we'll shoot him, wait for this to reload. And the guy on the left is looking away, guy in the middle is looking at some stuff, so we can knock him out pretty easily. And then just shoot the final guy with one last tranquilizer dart. Another 30 experience, another unconscious guard, and another easy room for us. Look at all this stuff we can get. Look, I mean, it's wonderful. I'm not actually seeing any of the stuff I can get. Credit chip, though. Probably somebody's life savings. It's alright. 245 credits on that guard, damn. Alright, there is another guy in this room, but I think the upgrade in here is something I won't actually use. I'm just knocking him out for the experience and the loot. Because why not? Yeah, damage upgrade. Okay, so there are upgrades that you can apply to your weapons, but since the one I'm going to be using is the tranquilizer rifle and it has no damage value, the damage upgrade really doesn't do anything for us. Nor does the revolver ammo. Anyway, we're through most of this first area, so we're going to go ahead and head down to the lab through the elevator here. There we go. Alright, so Tutorial available for augmentations. Here's fairly important for you. Now, if you've been knocking out every guard with melee attacks, you might even have a praxis point already, which would require quite a bit of doing. But since the game just gives you one praxis here, I'm going to go ahead and use it. If you go to your augmentations menu, you can see there's a bunch of stuff you can do. Very customizable. You can get cranium augmentations, which are playing smart rather than playing offensive. Torso augmentations, which are generally stuff relating to, yeah, your power recharge, the notable Typhoon explosive system, or just some ability to run. Anyway, oh, look at this. Regenerates health. And you start with some upgrades unlocked, which is a bit of a nice touch. It shows that Jensen doesn't start with absolutely nothing, but what we're going to be picking up for our first augmentation is just the ability to move and throw heavy objects. Because one of the things in the Deus Ex games is that anything which allows you to get around more, that is to say anything which gives you better mobility, is a wonderful upgrade to get. Because mobility is kind of paramount when it comes to actually accomplishing things in this game. And the ability to move and lift heavy objects is actually a fairly helpful one, because something I found out on my second or third playthrough, because I never tried it in the first, was that you can actually move these security turrets. So I'm just going to point him at a wall. Oh. You hear that beeping? That's some important beeping. Alright, something I also didn't figure out. Unless you're crouching and using the manual walk, you will trigger mines just by walking near them. This is actually fairly important to note for a very specific hallway, which actually stopped me until I realized what was going on. But it's just, it's not something they ever tell you. It really isn't. They tell you, like, hey, you should know that you can get around systems by moving slowly, and crouching didn't work, so I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, I've got the tutorial code, but I can just hack this, and here we go. This is more like the hacking grids you'll see later. So you've got a couple of different things, and what I'm going to do first and foremost is actually, I'm going to start hacking the 3, then the 2, then the 1, because things do take a little bit longer to capture depending on the security rating, and they also have a higher chance of being detected depending on the security rating. So, I just want to make sure that I get all of the wonderful little goodies here. I get a nuke virus and 100 XP. Any of those little any of those little cubes holds an item for you, whether it be experience, credits, or just a virus. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn off that camera. And a brief explanation, nuke viruses immediately take over any node, that is to say any of those little hacking squares, immediately, without any time and without being detected, period. And to stop worm will stop the trace on you if you've already activated the angry computer tracing system. That will stop it for 5 seconds, and 5 seconds can be the difference between success and failure sometimes, but we've got a cutscene here, so I'm going to shut up.
Step away from the console. Now! Help me! Son of a bitch! Pritchard, you still there?
Where else would I be?
Patch me to Seraph, now.
Adam, it's David. You got the Typhoon?
Yeah, but you were right about there being something more behind this. Because I've also got a dead purist in here with some pretty interesting cerebral implants.
Don't touch him. We'll need an expert to recover his neural hub, in case it's booby-trapped.
Copy that. What about Sanders?
SWAT's pressure me to let them off the leash. Find them before they do, and deal with them.
Alrighty. So we've got the leader of the resistance force to deal with still. Should be easy enough to find. Okay, and quick note here, if you did not, I don't know if it's knocking out enough guards, or I know the turret is fairly important, disabling the people that were repairing the turret. If you don't do that, the police will lose this skirmish. which does functionally nothing, I think, but it's an interesting little note that they've actually thought to put that in the game. And really, the dev team thinks of everything when it comes to these games. It is really incredible just how much they do.
Zeke hasn't found any juicy secrets yet, if that's what you mean. But he was positive we'd find something we could show to Pipes. Are you saying we got nothing? I know, man. I think they really messed up this time. Motherfucker, how are we gonna get out?
Where did that rifle come from? Alright, I'm gonna knock out that guard before he reaches the end of the hallway. Headshot does immediately knock out the guard, which is fairly helpful if you don't want them to move any further. Here we go. Knock out the guard here as well. Perfect. Now, there are 3 guards downstairs that I'm going to have to take care of. And then we get to see the most useless vent in the world. So, we've got one guy there, one guy over there, and one guy who kind of walks back and forth on the other side here. I'm going to stand up here so the guards on the right can't see me. Knock out the guard on the left there. That should take care of him. Second guard is actually going to be hidden behind the desk, so his buddy won't be able to see him knocked unconscious. And then when his buddy walks back out, I can knock him out as well. As soon as he actually does walk back out. There we go. Oh! Shoot. I missed. Alright, the darts do still make a little bit of noise if you miss with them, but they don't make any noise if you hit. So, missing is generally a pretty bad thing for you if you're trying to do a stealth run. Anyway, pocket secretary here, probably a code on it. Books. Some books do give you 200 experience, so I just make it a habit to briefly look at whatever book I come across. And are you ready? Here is the most useless vent in the world. I want you to take special note of any, like, sides to the vent or anything else. It's completely solid. There's nothing else to the vent thus far. Still completely solid. There's no input or output or anything else. Still completely solid, and the conference room is connected via a completely exitless thing, a completely entranceless vent to the men's restroom. That's it. That's the only connection it has. It's... who put that in? Anyway, we've got some tranquilizer darts in here. Lots of tranquilizer darts, which is very good for us, because I was, you know, running a little bit low here. But we don't really need to do anything else. Oh. Pocket secretary. Good. New access code added. And this is one of the things that you'll find on a regular basis, is that pocket secretaries, or just, in fact, access codes in general, are supposed to be accessible to you, just around. I think, though, despite having the access codes, I'm going to really quickly hack everything in here. So I'll see you guys in just a second after I've gotten a bit more experience and stuff. Alright, I think that's all of them. We got quite a few viruses from that. We're now sitting on 3 stopworms and 5 nuke viruses, which is going to be good because we're going to be hacking some higher level stuff here pretty soon. And without levels in... what is it? Hacking stealth? I'm going to be having a bit of trouble not getting noticed without some good viruses. Anyway, I'm actually going to throw out a quick save. I'm not going to throw out quick saves very often. I'm not going to be saves coming my way through the game, but usually before verbal disagreements, I'll do it to make sure that I can do this correctly. If for some reason I mess up.
Don't lie to me. I don't want to hurt you. You're a civilian. But I will if you don't give me a choice.
If you didn't want to hurt anyone, you should have stayed home tonight.
Oh, look! Seraph's attack dog! You're here to clean up before the police bust in? He thinks we're breaking the law. Shut up! All you body polluters break laws. You're all the same.
You're gonna have a hard time convincing people you're any different once they hear you had an AUG on your team.
What?
I found your attack dog in the factoring labs, trying to cut through security with his implanted hackware.
Nice try, Cholo. But I would never let one of you freaks on my crew. Ah! Back off, Lantern! I got business to take care of, understand? If what you say is true, and I'm not saying it is, here, but I gotta check things out. So, me and la vieja, we're leaving.
Alright, well, obviously I can't really let him do that. You have a couple of options, but this is one of the new ones to Human Revolution, and one of the cooler systems. You can do a battle of wits with someone.
Stand down, Hanser. I told you. Stand down or this bitch is dead.
Bullshit. You're bigger than that. You don't kill civilians.
Damn right. I'm a decorated vet. And I won't be jerked around. I need to find out who's behind this, and right now the boss lady is my only ticket out of here.
Listen to me. Whatever's going on, it's big. You've got a better chance of getting to the bottom of it if you work with me. But I can't do a thing until you let her go.
Are you stupid? I don't work with all.
Zeke is like the shittiest hostage taker of all time.
Moron. And who can blame you? Because it's exactly what it must look like to everyone right now. Trapped in here by the cops, and my only option is to take a hostage. How screwed up is that?
Alright, so you have several options here, and if you choose the correct one, he'll be more likely to listen to you. If you choose the wrong one, he'll be less likely.
You're doing better than you think. You're still standing, and that's more than the hacker was expecting. You said you're a vet, so I know you've got the balls to handle this. You don't need the civilian to get you out of here.
You got a good point there. But still, I've got to exploit my advantage. And as long as I hold on to this lady here, you and the cops will be way too scared to come near me. Face it, you got outmaneuvered.
The cops will be looking after civilians. They're too busy to worry about you. But if something happens to her, you will get their attention. Their priorities will shift, and all you'll accomplish is getting yourself killed.
I know all that, damn it. One of your kind tricked my brother into manipulating me, and I have to make sure that they get what all can openers deserve. I'm not wasting any more of my time arguing with you. Out of my way, you freak.
I'm not familiar with this argument. Oh shit.
Listen, the hacker's plan was for you to die. He knew there would be civilians here tonight. He thought of everything. He used your brother because he knew you would trust him. That's how well he knows you. He expected you to take a hostage, just like he knew the cops would kill you for it.
You're right. Damn. You know, he even asked me once about hostages. I told him I would if I had to. I thought I had to here, but I can't afford you, can I? Go on, get out of here. You're free to go. I did what you wanted, so let me go. I got played here too, I see.
I've got as much interest in finding out who's really behind this as you do, cabron.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll owe you one. But I promise you this. Someone's gonna pay.
Alright, successful.
Adam! Adam, what's happening? What's your situation? Adam!
Sanders is gone, boss. But I'm pretty sure he's just a dupe. Somebody else set this up.
Damn it. Okay, I want you back here now. The admin building has a rooftop terrace. Meet Farida on it.
Copy. Jensen out.
Okay, just for completing that and getting Silver Tongue and saving the hostages, you get like 5,000 experience at the end of this mission. So that's another free practice point for you. Now, I'm going to be putting most of my first 4 points period into Capture 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because if you don't have these, you cannot hack the systems that they're tied to, that have those security ratings. Like, you don't even have the option to. But if you do, you can at least attempt it, and with viruses, it's actually possible at times. Anyway, as we can see, SWAT's through here, and Zeke got out.
Sorry, Mr. Thorpe. The target's
Oh.
on lockdown. I can't...
Hey Greg, we've gotta give you
My
good
wife,
news.
is she all right?
She's fine. A little shaken up, though. SWAT will need to debrief her, but you'll see her soon.
I don't know what to say. I think I've given up on her. You're a true hero, man. I'll find some way to repay this, I swear.
There's no need for that. I was just doing my job.
Don't be modest. I didn't recognize you before, but I know who you are, Mr. Jensen. And I know you weren't supposed to be back at work yet. Thank God you are. I'll be in touch. Count on it.
SWAT officers in the background. Just kind of chilling out. You got 3 of them just staring at Greg. That's alright. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the hell out of here. Mission 1 complete.
You made a lot of people happy tonight, Jensen. And not just the men in suits.
It's what they pay me for.
No. They pay you to put corporate interests ahead of people. You found a way to satisfy everyone. Guess Dr. Reed was telling the truth about you.
Megan? What are you talking about, Malik?
Before you were hired, she said the papers were lying about Mexican Town. That you weren't fired from the force. You quit when you realized Protect and Serve had become Protect and Serve the corporate interest. Nice to see she was right. You ready to go?
Yeah, get me out of here, Malik.
And another
Your wish is my
750
command.
experience.
Climb in.
They're just throwing EXP at you. Which is, admittedly, welcome. God, that is a cool, I don't know what you call it, helicopter? Jet? Oh, it's not a helicopter, there's no choppers on it. So it is a jet? It's built like a helicopter? I have no idea.
New orders just in, Jensen. The boss wants Pritchard to examine the Typhoon ASAP.
Copy that. Thanks for the lift.
No problem. Hey, and Jensen, I just wanted to say, new look suits you. Like, you haven't missed a beat at all.
Thanks.
So, how's it feel? Being augmented?
Excuse me?
Don't take it the wrong way. I mean, I've got a few neuro enhancements myself. Discreet ones to help me fly better. But I chose to get them implanted. You didn't. Now that you had a chance to try them out, what do you think?
Freaking awesome. Come on, I mean, we've got robo arms and we can see through walls if we want to and
You're
hack
right.
things.
I didn't choose to get augmented. And I still don't know if I would have if given the choice. But today felt good. Surprisingly good.
Dr. Reed said you'd take to them. Said it was in your genes. Just be careful, okay? A lot of people think there's a reason the human body rejects this technology over time.
I didn't peg you for the type who gets caught up in metaphysical debates, Malik.
I'm not. I told you myself, I've got neuro enhancements. I'm just saying the choices we do get to make inevitably have consequences.
Yeah. Tell that to the bastard who did this to me.
I hear you. And you know what? You're not the only person in this place who wants to find him. So if I can help in any way, all you gotta do is ask.
Nah, I think we're good.
I appreciate that, Malik, but right now...
You've got to get the Typhoon into the tech lab, right? See you later then. Oh, and Jensen, the boss wants a face-to-face debrief in his office once it's secure.
Roger that. Good night, Malik.
Alright. Back from the first mission, and it's actually been quite a while, so I think Adam Jensen's misadventures in Boston are gonna have to wait until next time. So, as always, this has been PA, and thanks for watching.